Yay. Hello,
Ah,
hello.
hello
Hey,
everyone.
how are you, Szymon? How are you today?
Uh, I would say not that bad. It was bad a couple of days ago when I basically couldn't stand up from the bed, but today is pretty great, I would say. Uh,
Uh, it's awesome to have you here as a guest, and I guess filling in for our co-host, Kevin, who is running late, but we'll start without him.
uh,
No issues
yeah,
there.
I don't think we can postpone the stream by
Oh
about 30
no,
minutes to wait for
like
him.
we already
So
have 19 people watching. Thank you guys so much for joining.
yeah, so we definitely cannot postpone it.
Yeah.
So
Uh, Listen, do you feel comfortable explaining what is this live stream about? Like, what is our regular schedule usually? What do we do
uh
here? And then what is the additional part that we're gonna run today?
Okay, so the regular part is basically going through anything that happened during the last week in React Native slash React world,
What do we do
or
then? And
uh,
then what is the additional
I'm
part that
hearing
we're gonna
myself on your
run?
side. Yep,
Really?
yep,
Can you hear me now?
yep. But at the same time, I could hear myself.
So I'm speaking to a wrong mic because this one is muted right now. Let me fix
So,
that.
yep.
That's why. Okay,
Yeah.
listen to me. I'm speaking on the old mic. I switched to a new mic. Am
Okay,
I
this is
sounding
definitely better.
better?
This is definitely better. Uh,
Okay,
yeah, but I heard.
professionals.
Yeah, I heard myself, so I guess the volume is nice and steady. So getting back to what the stream is about, usually, it's about basically going through everything that happened during the last week in React slash React Native world slash universe, plus some jokes, plus some. Uh, I think usually you also go through those bytes newsletters, and there are some trick
Riddles there.
questions. Yeah,
Yeah.
riddles about JavaScript. So I guess there will be some riddles today. And then after that, we will go to the other topics. So we will talk about Harness, about React Native Harness,
Yay.
a new testing framework for React Native.
Modules.
Yep, modules. Yet,
But
I
also
mean,
for React Native, you can say, right? Like you could
yeah,
just like test your whole application, but like when where it shines is with React Native module. But we'll get to that. So
yep.
I like to think about the format of this live stream as usually we have few few topics about like React and React Native news from different newsletters, and sometimes we have a bigger topic. And today bigger topic is definitely harness from Szymon. Actually, like he created it and he allowed me to introduce it 2 weeks ago on the conference.
Yep, that was actually a funny story. I mean, the thing wasn't out yet. It wasn't like 100% done, but you still managed to
It
kind of.
still worked. It still
Yep.
worked. It worked great. I'm not sure what
Yeah.
you've been doing over the past 2 weeks, because what I showcased 2 weeks ago, what I played around 2 weeks ago, already worked. Like all of the promises that you make on the documentation page already work.
More or less. Uh, quality of life improvements, quality of life, sorry, improvements, but we will get to it later.
Okay,
I don't
yeah,
want to spend so much time in the beginning to talk about hardness because then we will not have enough time for the news. So I suggest we go to the news first, go through
sure.
them as quick as possible, and then
Yeah,
we
I'm
can
I'm
dive
gonna
in.
do that. So then this is the screen sharing part. This is the screen part. That's the screen. Hello, Grzegorz. How are you? How are you today? And we encourage everyone to just write to us on the chat, either through YouTube or through X. We can display your comments and respond to them. So that's great. Szymon, right from the start, I have a question to you because this is something that I discovered. Hey, Ryan, good to see you. Ryan is our regular viewer and listener, so I'm always waiting for his comment.
Yeah, I'm aware.
So
At least,
this
at least
is
when when I'm here, he's also here. So
yeah, he's
I
here
guess
every
I
time
agree.
I'm here, and like he's more uh, he's more regular on the stream than any of us. Because sometimes we take a break and we are not on the stream, but he is,
That's
so
true.
that's great.
That's true.
So listen, Szymon, I have a question to you about like this week in react.com page actually. So I'm going here. This is like the main page of the newsletter, right? And then
Yep.
look what happens when I click on the title of our newsletter for this week. Are you looking?
Mm-hmm.
I'm clicking now. I click. Did you see that?
I mean,
I'm gonna do
what
it again. So
exactly?
I'm
Does the
going
color
back.
changing or?
I'm going back now and I'm going forward now. So you can see that there is a section added here. The title, this part actually stays the same. So I'm not sure like if this is using like view transitions or something.
Or is it basically the same layout?
Yeah, it could be the same layout and just like loading is really fast. How can we check that?
Right
Can I
click. Then what's the translation in English?
inspect?
Yeah,
And then how
inspect.
can I
Network.
network? Sorry. This
It's hidden
is
right now.
pretty large.
Yep.
Network and then throttling.
Go back to the main page.
This is the main page, yeah.
Okay. Clear the log with this, not this one, the second one. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that also works. And now you can click on the link.
Yep.
So you see some view being fetched, and this is most likely JSON from what I see. Okay, it's not even JSON. Disable cache. The top, it's near the top. The second
Near the
checkbox you
top,
see.
disable
Yeah.
cache, yeah.
And now, now go back to the main page.
Yes.
Reload the whole page.
Reload the whole page. Okay.
Yep. Now clear it, and you can
Yes.
go to the link.
Okay, so the avatars for authors of this blog post were refreshed, and I could see that in the refresh, but everything else just that. So I was thinking, is this
if you
like
if
this
you now
nice?
switch to, I remember now. If you switch to doc, because now we are in all category. If you switch to doc category, it will only show you document navigations.
Okay.
If it's none, it may be so the page was already preloaded when we initially loaded the page, or the navigation is happening on the client side and there is some kind of JSON fetch going on.
Yeah,
And the latter
it's
may be
just
true.
it's so nice to see this kind of navigation when like you don't even notice it, and like you can achieve that with this like new fancy view transition from browser support and from React now as well.
Yep.
So I was thinking, are they using this, or is this just a really nice like layout that just like falls into place? Okay, never mind. That was my digression for today. So, this week in React, our favorite newsletter this week, again from folks from Software Mention, Kacper Kapuśniak and Krzysztof Piaskowy. I always thank them after the stream that they are providing us with something to talk about. They are doing great job gathering all of that news, and like it's not a small task. Can
No,
you
definitely not.
imagine how many things they have to read through in order for us to whoa, Next.js 16 beta. I want to talk about that definitely.
Remember it's 2025, so with all the let's say AIs available on the market, you can simply ask them, go through the internet and get me all the news for the last week about
Well,
React and React Native.
it so the
Technically.
prompt isn't that simple. I guess you could do that, but then like, how about all of those like nice articles? How about all of those videos? How about all of those tweets? Where are the tweets? Where are the tweets? Tweets.
I
There are
would say if
so
you
many things to talk about today.
follow the right people, then you have 80% of what you need for the newsletter to happen.
I guess so. I guess so. Okay. How about we do this? Let's go really quickly through the let's say backlog of news.
Let's go.
And then we will first go through, we will just vote yes or no on the do we want to discuss it? And then we will go one by one discussing. Okay. So, first of all, Next.js 16 beta. I want to discuss it. You?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay. Then Remix Jam 2025 introducing Remix 3. Of course, we need to talk about this.
Yeah, because I think there's some let's say I'm missing the word. It's about this imperative update function. I mean, I saw
About this one, this update.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
some tweets about that. If it's good, if it's bad, if we are going back to Backbone.js or whatever. So yeah, definitely something we need to dive into.
Can I make this disappear, the left-hand menu?
I don't think so. Unless you maybe make the page smaller. Yep.
Oh, okay. I can just man.
What if you zoom in a little bit more? Maybe it's
How about I do this?
okay.
Okay, I just did that.
But now we can see your header.
Oh no, I don't want the
I mean,
header.
it's nice header, but still. And
Okay.
we're back at.
Let's not overdo it. Let's not overdo it. Let's go into the news. So
not worth it.
Remix 3, we talk about it.
Yep.
Then the road to Next, master full stack. Okay, so that's probably some kind of course.
Yep.
Enroll, yeah. Introducing the async React working group. Okay, so we can look into that as well. Then context inheritance in text out router. That seems like a really deep subject.
Most likely.
Perils or reactivity. Again, so those are blog posts, right?
Yeah. And right now, 3 of them are really, I kind of feel they will be deep.
Really deep.
Details,
The one even has like deep in the like short description.
Yeah. I mean, we will see in a minute.
Okay. There is React Conf 2025 recap. So let's look into that, and maybe let's do that first because we already talked about React Conf last week. But let's look into that first. But then Cloudflare, React Alicante recap. I've been there and I was presenting your library there. So let's look into that.
Maybe there's a video recording of your speech.
Maybe there is like everyone did great aside from Łukasz. He did a shitty job on the stage.
We will see because there's no video right now available, so I can't say if it was good or bad.
There is none. There will be recordings later.
Cool.
Okay. Then React compiler. Callstack router. Okay. Let's go into the React Native section. React Native section. Oh, many announcements from React Native, but we also talked about a few of them last week. So let's skip this for now. React Bacon, sorry, Evan Bacon. That's like a how do you say that? That's a Freudian mistake, right? Because Evan Bacon is React Native Bacon or something, right? Like he's very much embedded in the community.
That's the first time I heard this name. I mean, not Bacon's name.
Evan Bacon?
No, the thing you said about something mistake.
Freudian.
Freudian. That's something I never heard before.
Freudian slip, it's called. So Freudian slip is unintentional error regarding as revealing subconscious feelings. Yeah.
Okay, so you consider Bacon to be like the heart of React, I guess.
Well, he's a very big
Oh,
presence in
definitely.
React Native. Yeah. So
We can't argue about that.
okay, so let's talk about that as well. React Native RFC array buffer support in turbo modules. I saw something about that. Aren't we working
Yep.
on this?
Yep.
Okay.
That's true.
Then this one is huge. React Native screens will provide a native split view.
Maybe not huge, but still, this is another thing I need to cross out from my to-do list, basically.
Okay, Kevin is right in the background. So let's go all of the like really like highlights, and then we will welcome him in for the first subject. Expo changelog, React Native harness. Yay! You landed
Oh,
in the newsletter.
yep.
I wasn't really sure if Kacper and Krzysztof will be able to actually add you with such a short notice, but like they're doing such a good job.
I suspect it was like, it couldn't be edited after it was sent. Huh.
Okay, and then okay. We're going. Some articles. Radon IDE new version. React Native Oreo new version. Nitro O30 new version. Okay. And we have a new podcast episode that actually Mike Grabowski of React Universe on Air. Okay, cool. We're going back to the top. We're going to invite our co-host, Queuing. Hello, how
Hello.
are you, man?
It was such a busy and stressful day. Oh my God. I had to pick up my wife from the airport, but for some reason, everyone in Wrocław today decided, you know what, let's go by car. And like the streets congestion was so awful, and the flight got delayed, and it was a nightmare. But thankfully, I'm here.
It's great to have you here, Kevin, our son of optimism.
Oh yeah, I'm see, actually you're laughing now, but the fact that I got like I'm late is because I was too optimistic actually. Because I thought, yeah, sure,
okay.
I can pick up my wife, I can be in time. Like it's gonna be easy. But then like the traffic was, oh my goodness.
So we've already done your job introducing this live stream. We already
Thank you.
introduced that in the first 40 minutes. We'll try to do some news, and then we'll switch to talking about the main topic for today, which is Is it harness or React Native harness?
Hello, Ryan.
I would say both.
Okay, so harness and React Native harness. But first, let's dive into some news, and then let's start with Next.js 16 beta. Okay, I guess we will not be talking about it.
Well,
are you for real? Okay,
See,
let's try to fix this. Let's try to fix this.
Apparently today is just a crazy day for everyone.
I guess so. So the link doesn't work. It should work. It's the same freaking link. Look, can you see my? No, you cannot see the this there. But if I copy the link and I paste the link, oh, it has a space. It has a space. Oh. That's the link. That's the link that I'm trying to go through to.
And where's the space? Oh, the space at the end.
It has a space at the end. Okay, so that's the issue here. But we get there. We will get there. Okay.
I really thought they are trimming the links, the URLs.
But the person tips 20 is basically serialized space character, like equivalent of space.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
Guys, we don't have much time. Let's go through the news. So, don't they have a conference like really soon, like next week soon?
Yep.
Next. Where is the conference?
which is kind of funny because usually you leave such announcements to the conference to have
Next.js
this.
conference. It's gonna be October 22nd, so next week. Okay. So they did basically what React did. They released a beta version of their framework, and then they have a conference week after to talk about it, which
So the
is
next
very
week
different.
is the
Next
next week.
Yeah.
It's
6 days.
gonna be the next week.
On brand. Which is basically what React JS did for the React Conf. They had a React 19.2 released, and then we were talking about React 19.2. But very different from what React Native did. They released the version they were talking about directly on the conference. So many more surprises there. Okay. Next.js beta is now available. The early release provide access to the latest improvements to Turbopack, caching, and Next.js architecture ahead of stable release. Highlights for this release include Turbopack stable. I feel like we've been waiting for this for 3 years.
I feel like we've
Or
been
more.
talking about that already. Like, wasn't Turbopack?
I
It was
remember myself
stable
talking
for
about it.
dev builds. It was considered
Oh.
stable for dev builds like a month ago or 2 months ago. And
Okay.
then it was like beta or experimental earlier than that. And now I guess it's stable for all apps.
Okay.
Turbopack file caching system is in beta. React compiler support is in stable. That's great. Build adapters. Ooh, I don't know what this is. Build adapters. Following the build adapter RFC, we've worked with the community and deployment platforms to deliver the first alpha version of build adapters. Do you guys know what it is?
What do
This
they do?
basically, this is the first step to kind of break the dependency between Next.js and Vercel. Because right now it's hard to run Next.js with all the functionalities outside of Vercel Cloud.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, they now started working with the community, with other service providers to kind of give the power to customize how Next.js works internally to basically provide all the functionalities outside of Vercel.
It's so good to have Szymon on this live stream.
Oh yeah.
You throw a question at him and he's like right on the money.
Because I remember reading some article like 6 months ago about what's wrong with Next.js and what's going to happen in the future. Like, and this RFC
So-
was mentioned there.
So kind of basically, they are allowing clients to move to a different provider, but they are like taking more technology like share.
Let's say Next.js on Vercel or the other way. Like when you want to deploy at Vercel, you can do more with Next.js. Like in simple words.
Yeah, no. What I meant is that this move that they are allowing now to add adapters is basically like, you know, they're allowing people to use different providers but still use Next.js technology, which is a nice move, honestly.
Well, you always had an option to do that. It's just it was like maybe harder, or you couldn't use all of the like Next.js niceness.
So like my question would be, what do those adapters have like an interface? What's their interface? What functionalities can I like add or implement to cover?
Well, you can always go through the RFC. I'm not sure how long it is. So if you scroll down a little bit, maybe we will see some
Looks
kind of
huge
definition.
on the scroll size.
Yeah.
Adapter API. So a modify config, on build complete, blah blah blah. Okay, not that much. Like,
so it looks like plugins from Expo.
Oh yeah, like adapter and plugin are the same thing, right? That's just a different name.
Well,
more or less.
I wouldn't kind of. kind of.
Okay, we don't have much time here for news, but yeah, I'd love to just like fire up Perplexity and ask what is the difference between plugin and adapter. Okay, we're going back here.
So, I can do that. I'm gonna check the questions quickly, and we can
Okay.
just go.
Enhanced routing, optimized navigations and prefetching with layout deduplication and incremental prefetching. That's great. We should look at that if we have time. Improved caching APIs. React 19.2. Yep. Awesome. And then breaking changes. Okay. I guess we can just like go over the headlines now. I feel like we understand 75% of it, maybe more even.
Found it, and it actually makes a lot of sense. Plugin extends functionality, and adapter connects incompatible parts.
Okay.
I mean, makes sense.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Plugin plugs in and adapter adapts.
Wouldn't put it better.
Okay. Listen, guys, I'm gonna go back to the
Sure.
to the blog to the newsletter, and we actually could have just like read this. Remix Jam introducing Remix 3. I guess this is a video. We don't really do videos here.
Oh yeah.
I love
it's
this
it's
stage
a long
though.
video.
Yep.
But it starts at 3 hours 16 minutes. So I guess no, there is something earlier. And this is what's this?
I guess it was
Shade.
a conference. It was a conference about remix
In
basically.
Toronto. Okay.
Yep.
This
So
tower
that's
is in
why
Toronto.
it's 8 hours long, or 7 hours long, because it's basically a recording of the whole conference.
Yeah. I know that Remix Jam is a conference. It's just surprising that they are announcing the biggest announcement is like mid conference, right?
Or maybe it
Ooh.
was like,
I know why. Look at that. Ryan and Michael introduced for the very first time Remix V3 in a 3+ hours conf talk. And Sebastian watched it all, so you don't have to.
How do you execute such a thing? God damn.
Well, I guess probably it's like live demoing this thing. So
or it means
let's
the
see.
whole stream was longer than 3 hours. It doesn't
Look,
necessarily
yeah,
mean
they are
were talking
demoing a
about-
bunch of things here. Yeah.
That's brave.
Okay. So what's there? On the client, it remains quite similar to React using declarative JSX, but it has a setup function that runs only once, like solid. State is managed imperatively, and re-renders are triggered manually with this update.
Oh.
It also has a quite interesting composable event system that lets you build custom interaction and move event state outside of your components.
So you basically it's kind of like a bit of stuff, like a state machine that doesn't impact your re-renders, but you can still impact the values you keep there?
Well, like any state wouldn't trigger your re-render because re-renders are handled manually.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure why this exists.
Maybe you can
Sebastian says when you'd probably use ref in React, you use ref in React in order to hold on to some state that is not like not should cause re-render, right? But then why move it outside of component if none of your state is actually okay? Never mind. So like I guess like Remix 3 is not React based anymore. Like this is some kind of remix.
Like
we are very good at words today.
Yep.
So on the server, it's built out of scalable router with advanced pattern matching and type-safe routing, blah, 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 okay. frame component that reminds React Suspend and Astro Server Islands. Letting you defer. Okay. I think we are interested in like the final final statement the most. Overall, it introduces an interesting model that remains close to React before hooks were introduced, with some major design changes, non-reactive state updates, manual re-renders, and also offers a simple alternative to React Server components.
So it kind of sounds like you would have to manually implement like will update or will render.
Even worse.
Look what Grzegorz said. I tried to build some app from scratch with Remix Tree. It's pain to set up. I have feeling it requires now some kind of framework on top. Yeah. To not have to do many stuff manually with every project. Yeah, it's probably very early, right? For the Remix Tree.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's tick that one off the list. And can I go to React Alicante setup recap real quick?
You
Sure.
want to say if you are there.
I really want to say see if I'm mentioned. Probably not. Okay, on this page you can find a list of full talks with short comments, a longer opinionated summary at the end. Okay, cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Enjoy and feel free to reuse if you need a summary from your team or employer. That's great. Who built this?
Well, isn't us building for you by? Well, no. Below.
No, that's.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's Kate.
Yep.
Yeah, she was actually a speaker there.
that's very thoughtful.
Yeah. I met her. Okay. So sessions day one. I really like how React Alicante Conf was opened by Caddy from Expo, and like at React Conf we could see first the talk that we see is about building apps. That's great, and she had a great talk. When it comes up, you should really watch it. Then Dashi Kato was there with Waku, which is Japanese for framework. He's an author of Waku and also Jotai and also Zustand.
Oh.
And many other libraries.
Wait. Jotai and Zustand has the same creator?
Yeah.
Yep.
Jotai, Zustand, and Waku.
What?
I think there's the third one.
And wait, and Waku means framework, so it's like a framework
Waku means framework, yeah.
So it's a framework named framework.
Yeah, and Jotai means state, I think.
And Zustand also.
Waku means framework in Japanese.
Huh.
Yep. Okay, going back here. So then talk by Aurora. Then I really like the testing talk as well. Okay, let's go to mine. You should really read all of this. All of the talks were really good. I watched most of it live, and like it was very very nice to like learn all of those new things.
Captivating.
Okay. What is it? Yes. Okay. Missing middle ground. This is about harness. Another testing task in React Native space, Łukasz demoed a new library that allows testing native capabilities with keeping tests fast and developer friendly. Yay! And it's all because of Szymon, who actually created this library. Okay, and then short summary. It was my third React Alicante. Yeah, it's great. Like this conference was really great. Okay, let's go back here. What do you guys want to do now? Which one should we touch? React Conf summary?
You already did it last week, didn't you?
We did it last week, yeah.
Yep.
We were the first ones.
Straight from Las Vegas.
Yeah. Okay. So, React Native keynote. So, I guess we did this as well. Didn't we?
Yes.
We tried to do it last week.
last week had so many informations and like such a brain dump of all of the news that we kind of got lost. But most of that we covered more or less.
So no need to, repeat yourself, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm 100% sure we discussed the virtual view, web performance API as well. And we covered network and performance panels because
Okay.
I'm sure we also talked about the fear and fear and
Okay, we didn't talk about this. So let's talk about this because like this one is huge.
Isn't it a record? Yeah, it is a recording.
It's a recording of his talk. So let's just talk about this. Evan Bacon announced first-class support for CSS and Tailwind in Expo, which I think is a huge news that we would be able to do that soon. But shouldn't this support land in React Native itself and not in framework?
Technically, yeah, because it sounds like such fundamental thing.
Yeah.
When it comes to developing stuff that's going to or is expected to run on both iOS, Android, TV, web, and tens of other
VR
platforms. Yeah,
and fridges and
and
elevators.
usually this is the problem when web developers come to React Native and they realize they can't use CSS anymore, or they can use only a part of it, which is yeah, we have certain properties supported, like box shadow, for example, but still there are many things missing. So I would say it should go to the core itself.
Wait, so my question about that would be, is it opt-in or turned on by default?
I mean, it's first of all, it's just been announced, so like
Yep.
we
Okay.
still will wait for it, but it has to like live alongside just regular React Native styling. It has to be opt-in. There is no other way around it, right? If you have a project in Expo and you want to upgrade to newest version, you don't want to like rewrite all of your styles.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, but like what's interesting here is that they will be supporting Tailwind, like actual Tailwind, not Uniwind or Native Wind. So that's amazing.
But isn't that just because in this case, isn't Tailwind just like the flavor of CSS?
It's something different. I would say it's superset of
Yeah,
CSS.
it's not that much of a flavor as maybe you can think about. Fuck, it's not a syntax as well.
Set of tools. That's a basically set of tools, set of shorthands. Just like a
Yeah,
long time
yeah.
ago, there was Bootstrap.
Yeah,
It's more there's a name for it. I think it's atomic CSS or utility CSS. So the approach that when you create styles, at some point you have so many classes so similar but still present in a CSS file. So you are basically wasting space in them. So instead of using those buttons, instead of using buttons, labels, and so on, you just create those small classes like empty5, which means margin top 5 units. And then you compose your button with those smaller things. So in the end, you end up only with one set of CSS classes and just a longer class name property on an element.
Okay. I just kind of think about that in this situation, like a difference between WordPress.org and WordPress.com. That it's, that they don't
you meaning difference between Tailwind and like Native Wind?
Yeah, kind of. Like
Okay.
Native Wind is just implementation of Tailwind in.
It's not. It's a rewrite.
No.
But you are using
Native Wind. Native Wind needs to compile your Tailwind class names into the actual style sheet objects, and Tailwind compiles to actual CSS files. So it's only that like user visible effect that's the same, but the actual like implementation targets two different paradigms.
Oh yeah. But that's kind of what I meant. That maybe they used here Tailwind as you will be able to use Tailwind classes directly.
It's
like,
not about
with
Tailwind
Expo.
classes. You would use Tailwind library. And you cannot use Tailwind library right now because you cannot have CSS.
So I guess you will be
Okay.
able to just run web Tailwind.
Yeah, just like regular Tailwind, which I guess like probably there are some differences between native wind and Tailwind, or Uniwind and Tailwind. So like if you are familiar with Tailwind, or maybe you have like monorepo project, you will just use one tool. Maybe it's not that big. I'm not saying like this is huge. The CSS is huge, right?
Yeah.
And then like if we have CSS, Tailwind like probably just
Especially
like
when
is packaged in.
especially when you also think about the fact that they will be using reanimated 4. So like it will be writing animations for any component in native will be such a pleasure experience now. Just writing CSS classes
I
that
was
just
actually discussing that on React Conf with someone, that like there are some bits and pieces of CSS support in React Native right now, like in Reanimated 4 with transitions and animations, right? So like would you be able to write CSS animations now? And like what will drive them on the native side? Is it reanimated or what?
I mean now they are using this like that. Am I wrong? Now you can
But
use
only a subset of CSS targeting like transitions and animations work.
Oh, you mean
Okay,
like that.
it's just like interesting to me, like what is going to be like compatibility like, right? And
Now
which pieces.
now that you said that, it's also kind of weird that we didn't go into this unification of how you write styles right from the start. Yeah, basically that's native wind converts class names to RN styles.
Okay, should we move on? Guys, I'm gonna be like needing to drop when I get an information that my other meeting starts. So I will drop probably like in the next 10 minutes. But let's move on. Oh, this one is huge. I want to talk about this.
Native split view.
This is so cool. This is again from Software Mention. They are maintaining this library, React Native Screens, that actually React Navigation depends on it, and Expo Router depends on it. React Native Screen is, in my own words, that can be wrong sometimes. React Native Screen is a native wrapper on top of native screen, so that you are actually using native primitives for navigation, and this goes with some like nice quality of life improvements regarding performance and regarding native feel. This is like very overlooked library because like we don't actually, like as devs, we don't interact with it directly, but like it's really needed for navigation libraries. Okay, so they will provide native split view, which is awesome.
It's one of the things that I lacked the most when I switched to iOS from Android. Then just regular split view, just ability to put two apps next to each other on the phone. Like I still don't understand why it's not.
I'm not sure if it's that.
It's not that split view.
It's
No.
not that.
I get that it's like split view in context
In
of
one
the
app.
same app. Yeah, I get that. But still, wonder if with that could you? No, sorry, never mind.
You can
iOS
do it
says.
now on iPad 26.
But why not on iPhone? That annoys me. It's basically the
Look at this
same
comment.
system.
This changes everything. Come on.
I wouldn't say everything,
Probably
but
not.
still on, for example, platforms like iPads, on macOS, generally on desktop, it will be quite nice to have it.
Yeah, and like this pattern that they show here is such a like popular use case, right? To
Mhm.
have like those like split view. Okay.
Just think about, for example, settings app, which if you open on iPad OS, you will see the main menu visible on the left side. If you open it on iPhone, the menu on the left side will be the first screen, basically.
Oh, yeah.
For example, this is the case of when you need split view in practice.
I guess we will not have documentation for it, would we?
Oh no, definitely not in React navigation. So
Oh, this
if
is
you
React
want-
navigation. Sorry.
Yep. It's not there yet. It will be, but it's not there yet.
You had the docs at the top on the right side.
Oops.
No, this is about like
What?
those are docs for React navigation.
Oh, okay.
Because you're not supposed to use them directly, yada yada, so you should use navigation. I mean, I can understand that they are linking to this particular page, because I guess this is the only native navigator at the moment, right? I mean,
Yeah, but like this is truly native, customizable, and multi-platform.
Customizable, but up to the point of like what operating system permits you to do. Which is
No, so
important.
with the ceiling.
But you cannot really like have the same appearance on both platforms. You will have those little differences.
Okay.
And I'm not going to even start about Liquid Glass on iOS 26 and not Liquid Glass on Android, for example, or iOS 18. So this is something you need to kind of accept, which is not always like the best solution, let's say.
Okay, look at this one. The what is it? I lost it.
The harness
Okay, it's
one.
here. Yeah, React Native
Is it?
Harness. Test native modules with JavaScript. So I'm gonna open it up, but let's not go there yet. Maybe let's do Riddle first.
Oh, okay. So to
As an
put
intro.
ourselves into the mindset of coding,
Yeah.
coding mindset.
Yeah. Okay, where's the riddle? Okay, pop quiz. How many times is the reducer function invoked? How many times is it invoked? I would say 2.
Reducer. No,
Wait.
0. Yeah, I guess so.
Three.
Is it 3?
Yeah.
Szymon, what's your answer?
Because it should be instantiated with the empty array. So in first run prev would be empty, just like the value.
I think it will be 2.
Okay, let's check the answer. It's twice.
Yep. Because you can provide the initial element as a second reduce.
Okay. So that's the case. I missed. If an initial value isn't supplied, the first element in the array will be used as the initial value. I had no idea about that. That's actually interesting.
So if you provide empty array,
it will be used as
with undefined.
No, because I mean,
because it's not an array. It's just 0.
if you would, if you would like to, like for your reducer to sum up everything, then you provide initial value as 0, for instance.
I know,
and then,
but what if you don't provide it and you provide us an empty array?
It's gonna be undefined.
It's gonna be undefined.
Yeah,
I guess.
Actually, it's gonna be an empty array. It's gonna be just an empty array.
But if you reduce it,
this is not array. You are like.
Yeah, I mean,
summing.
if you would put an initial value as an array, it would be like prev
what
would
Szymon
be an
says,
array.
You are reducing on empty array, and the initial value is not provided.
Oh.
I'm gonna check that really quick.
Then it would not run if you don't provide the initial value. You have an
And
empty,
it would be undefined.
or it wouldn't even run the function.
It would still be undefined. Like
You will have type error. Reduce of empty array with no initial value. It's forbidden by the engine.
really?
Yep.
But
I
like
translated
type
it.
error from what? From JavaScript or from
from
TypeScript?
JavaScript engine. JavaScript.
Okay, cool. Okay, I'm ready now to release the screen sharing. Where is Kevin?
Me. You released the screen share along with me. Actually, Łukasz was screen sharing me as well. I'm on his other laptop.
I'm ready to release. So let's jump into the main subject.
Yeah.
We said we will do like 45 minutes of news. Thank you, Sebastian. Thank you, Krzysztof. Thank you, Kacper, for, as always, making our life more informed with This Week in React. Thank you for including the library that Szymon created over the past, I guess, 3 months, right? You spent like 3 months on it?
I would say a month and some 2 weeks, for example. Because the work started in May, then it was freezed because of the Rosenite, and now I was back in the beginning of this month.
So you are twice as awesome as I knew you were.
It is what it is.
You are really impressing.
Well, the joke's on you because Szymon actually is infinitely awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Szymon, share your screen and like walk us through React native harness.
Okay, now the tricky part to share the correct tab and don't show you too much.
Actually, like preparing for the stream is quite involving, like removing all of the.
I'm like a little bit worried because at some point I will have to share the whole screen.
I cannot add your screen to this.
Is it? I mean, maybe now or not?
No, I don't know why. Kevin, can you help me out? I click add to stage.
Yeah, I see that. Didn't you by accident maybe change the setup?
No,
for
we have the scene is a screen share. So if I go to the scene speakers only, we are here. And then if I add this, it works here. But it doesn't work here.
It kind of looks like you are still sharing the screen. I mean, at least
me.
Yeah, on the miniature, it looks like you are. What, did you break something?
Okay,
and now would be perfect moment for Łukasz to leave.
Well, we are supposed to share here, right? Well, I can share mine. Let's see if I can share mine.
Yeah, try to share your screen, then unshare it. I mean, hide it from the stage. Now hide it. Take it off.
I remove this one and I add this one. What? Okay, it works now. Thank you.
Yeah.
And now I stop sharing mine.
Okay, so I need to make it.
Oh, it's resizable.
The window on my side is. It's not like I can control it in StreamYard. Yeah. So, harness. Maybe let's start with a difference on between Jest and any other end-to-end solutions, because that's probably the part that people can be missing, and the part that can lead to people using harness in a totally wrong way.
Wait, before that, can we actually start with the problem statement?
Technically, yeah, and I was about to move to the screen.
Okay.
And because I don't want to, I mean, of course I can share the whole text and just say, okay, read it out loud, and people will listen to it.
I can also do my presentation from React Alicante.
Yeah, but I would like to provide a pill, like squeeze the whole article, the whole problem statement, which is quite long, into several sentences. So that's why I started.
Okay,
to talk
let's
about
stop interrupting Szymon.
Yep.
Yep.
He knows what he's doing.
The problem statement is that with Jest, you can't really test native modules. You cannot really test any native interactions. You can't really test anything that's included in React Native. Why? Because Jest is not running in React Native. In reality, Jest is running in Node.js, so it makes the best to simulate React Native as much as possible and in the best way. But in reality, there are certain parts that cannot be simulated at all. For example, native modules. So if you are a native module creator, for example, you are working on React Native MMKV, you cannot really test your module with Jest. I mean, if you want to test it with Jest, you need to mock the whole thing out, which is, well, not really a good test. I mean, you can test JavaScript side of your module, but the native functionality is not there. So on the other side, you can technically use some end-to-end solutions like Detox or Maestro or, I don't know, some kind of Selenium/Appium setup to start the whole app. In this app, you can create some buttons and some text areas. And then you can use your UI automation to click on the button to, for example, execute test case 1. And then the code inside your app can definitely reach to native modules. They can be run, they can be executed. And then afterwards, you can provide some feedback via the text area. And then technically with end-to-end solutions, you can look at this text area and basically get the text displayed in them. So in the end, you get something like test 1 failed and might be some error message, and you can pass it back to your computer, your for example Windows/macOS /Node.js process, and somehow, I don't know, fail the test, for example, so you can see it in the CLI. But yeah, it doesn't sound like a scalable solution, because at some point you can have hundreds of tests and creating buttons for each of them. It doesn't sound well. And at some point you will definitely start to experience some performance issues, because you will have so many buttons and so many code running in React Native that the app will basically become super slow. So Jest is not a good solution for this particular example. End-to-end solutions are not the best option for this particular example. So up until before Harness was released, there was no a good way to test native modules, unless you are ready to set up some native Android and native iOS pipelines. But then again, the integration point with React Native would still be untested. So there comes Harness, which is kind of middle ground between both approaches, because you can use just like let me find it. Okay, so this is basically something that looks like a real test, like Jest test. So it's something that's easy to write. It's something that's easy to read. Something that you can split between different files. Something you can import your modules in. Something you can execute your custom JavaScript logic in. And you can have this code, this test executed on a real React Native environment, or a real React Native context. And it means that if your test app has your React Native MMKV installed, if your test app has some other library installed, your tests can run those modules, and they will not use any mocks. They will actually run the native logic inside of React Native, and then pass the results of your tests back to CLI. So you will see like a report saying this test succeeded, but this one failed at this particular assertion, because the value was expected to be 2 and in reality it was 3, for example.
I have so many questions, so let me know when will be the question time. I will also use that moment to announce that Grzegorz, Ryan, remember, I'm keeping an eye on the comments section. So if you will have any questions, just don't wait with them, and we'll be asking the questions as we go, because this sounds super cool. And
Yeah.
I'm kind of waiting for the but.
There's no but. I mean, okay, there's one but we will get to it in a second.
Okay.
So let
So
me
if I could ask a first question. Oh,
yeah,
and
I'm
the screen
changing the screen. No worries.
Okay. So my first question would be: so what does it use underneath?
Can you bring the screen up, or is it
Yep.
only Łukasz that's okay?
No.
What do you mean by what's underneath it?
Does it run an emulator underneath? Does it?
Oh, of course. You need to have emulator installed, or Android emulator / iOS simulator, because for some reason Apple decided to name their simulator a simulator and Android's emulator. But yeah, you need to have at least one of them installed, depending on which platform you want to test. If both, then you need to have both installed.
But
The second
it's
requirement.
possible. Oh, sorry.
The second requirement is to have your app built and installed on both. Why Harness is not doing it automatically? Because there are so many possible, let's say, variants of React Native applications that it's basically not feasible for a single person to maintain the whole integration layer with all of them. Because if you build your application with React Native CLI, React Native Community CLI, the Harness would need to run some React Native run Android or build Android command, right? On Expo, it will be totally different. On Rock, again, totally different command, totally different paths, totally different things to be done. So that's why I decided to because initially Harness would build your app automatically. It would automatically install it on the simulator, and then or before all of that, it would start the emulator. But I realized that it's not really a good solution, because then somebody may want to use Harness in brownfield scenario, and in brownfield, well, technically each brownfield app can build in different way. So that's why I decided to leave this part to the user, so user know how to build the app.
Okay.
So user knows how to
so we have
install it.
the first prerequisite that would be app has to be installed. So
Yep.
Also, one additional question from Grzegorz. I promise that I will be asking questions as we go. How to run tests on different platforms, but I assume we'll get to that in a second. Okay,
exactly.
So we will get to that in a second. And question from me. So it is totally possible to run Harness on a CI, and it's possible to.
Yeah, of course. And I want to show you something in the meantime. So yeah, having a test tool and not being able to run it in CI is it makes the tool not really useful, because to be honest, nowadays we are used to basically pushing the code to some kind of GitHub, for example, opening a PR and having the checks being run automatically in the cloud. So we don't really run. I mean, sometimes we run tests locally, but usually it's done by the CI. The same applies to linting. The same applies to type checking. We don't want to sacrifice any time. Like locally, we want to focus on delivering stuff. So we offload this work to some kind of CI, for example, GitHub Actions. So Harness definitely needs to be able to run in some CI environment, for example, GitHub Actions.
Okay,
And
so I assume, because Grzegorz here asked an additional question, can we maybe have some pre-run command which will be defined by user to build app? My guess would be that if Harness is actually as good as you are telling me, and it sounds like it is, I think it's not a far-fetched prediction to assume that there will be some sort of Harness prepare library that will have a bunch of building functions and building steps and pre-made scripts to offload that part of preparing everything.
technically there's nothing stopping me from adding such property in a configuration file and then running the command.
But this would
I'm
be
not
an
sure if it's
additional
like,
overhead.
yeah, because technically anyone can create a command in the userland, for example, or some kind of script. So yeah, it's not like the highest priority right now because there are other
Sure.
things waiting in the line to be implemented. But definitely something like let's say quality of life improvement. So you don't need to kind of worry about building before running harness.
I
If you
assume that.
bring,
Sure,
if you
I'm
bring,
adding
yeah.
the screen. I assume that Grzegorz asked this question because previously he was complaining about Remix 3 being a pain to set up. So I feel the pain, and I feel that it's like very real developer sickness, which is hate to, hate to set upitis. I would call it like that.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it took me some time to get the GitHub Action workflow like working correctly because there are so many moving parts. You have to use the correct Android SDK. You have to use the correct emulator. You need to provide the correct activity name and so on, so on, so on. So it took me some time to get the things right. But in the end, what we have is basically this is taken straight from React Native MMKV, one of the test runs.
Oh, that's why
So
you gave it as an example.
yeah, because it's hard to kind of predict what can go wrong if you don't have if you don't do a battle test. And this is basically a kind of battle test. So if it works for React Native MMKV, and if Mark is happy with the results, then it means that the thing is ready, at least ready-ish to be announced publicly and to be used by some more people. Because if it breaks for Mark, it means that there are still some work to be done before the release, right? So I spent some time integrating it in React Native MMKV. And why I'm saying that, let me find another workflow which is more interesting than this one. So, where is it? I think it will be
So
there.
we can say out like that
Jesus
harness
Christ.
is battle tested.
A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit because it was merged to the repository, I would say 2 days ago or a day ago.
Okay.
So yeah, it's working from the yesterday in the repository. It didn't break yet, so that's a good news. Where's the thing?
No
Jesus
worries.
Christ.
Take your time.
Oh, because I'm looking at the wrong one. Not build, but harness. Oh, this is the one. This is the one. Okay, so harness, the same workflow, yeah, but this workflow failed, and this is why I wanted to have this one present on the screen. So a little tour on how the workflow works. The first thing, you need to build the app, which takes the majority of time. Depending on your app, it can take between, I would say, not like 5-10 minutes max, because this app is kind of expected to be some playground app, some simple app. Plus, technically, if you are, for example, working with JavaScript code only, if with this side, but still you want to run the whole thing with native modules to make sure that everything is in place, technically you can reuse the app. You don't need to build it every time. You need to build it only when you change some native code. Sometimes it's useful, sometimes you can cache it, sometimes you don't. In this case, when Mark is changing something in the native code, he needs to build the app, no matter if he basically whatever solution he would use, he would need to rebuild the app. End to end, you need to rebuild. Harness, you need to rebuild. Some native solutions for Android, technically you need to rebuild. So this part is shared by all the possible solutions. But then this part Okay. This is the first run in the repository. So this create AVD and generate snapshot for caching is being executed. But generally, this part will be skipped because this is a step generating a snapshot of your Android device. If you run your Android emulator locally, you will see that sometimes when every time you are closing it, there's this message saying saving snapshot or capturing snapshot, please wait. So basically this part, this step is basically capturing the snapshot. So before we start the first run ever, we capture the snapshot. So the next run, we will use the snapshot. So in the end, the test run would take around 20 seconds, for example, because the emulator will be basically ready in a couple of seconds. And then, of course, the test starts with launching the emulator and then running harness. And what I wanted to show you is that the first run failed on this part. So value change listener would not be called for or on value removal. Bug or not? Is it bug or not?
Wait, so should trigger listeners on value removal, and it.
So if you have your storage and there's a key named key, and if you remove it, would you expect to your value listeners, value change listeners, to be called on the removal or not?
Yeah, I guess I would.
So yeah, this bug was present in MMKV for for a long time. in practice, it wouldn't. In practice, this listener will be only called for changes. So when you set key, and updates. So when you update the key. Whoops.
Okay.
And you can't really test it with Jest because with Jest you don't have any native modules.
I kind of guess that this I would call it a slight corner case, because I feel like more often once the value is set, it can be then set to undefined and not like removed.
I'm not sure if undefined is allowed for MMKV. I think not.
Okay, so like setting empty value or something like that. Like I don't recall ever using like remove value.
But technically, that's something the API is offering you, and that's something.
Yeah.
If it's offering, it should work correctly. So it's working correctly, but the listener is not called.
I'm not defending it. It sure is a bug. What I guess what I'm saying is, if that would be a very hardcore bug, it would be found sooner. But still, it's a slight corner case that could be very painful for someone at some point.
This is a like extreme edge case. So the second thing that Harness uncovered is that when you try to set a string with empty key, it will kind of succeed because there will be no error printed, but the key will be not set. So it will silently fail without you knowing about it. And again, this bug was here for a long time because previously there was no way to test it without like a proper end-to-end solution or with custom harnesses.
This test case expects the error, or
if you set, right now it's basically if you set empty key, we expect that this key will be saved in the storage and that it will return the same value that I provided in the previous line in set call.
Oh, so and turns out that it doesn't.
It doesn't. It returns undefined, so the key wasn't set at all.
Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, I love how the errors are printed because now it wasn't there from the beginning. I kind of thought about it like 2 weeks before release, and I found a neat way to get it like nearly for free from React Native. So now you see exactly the place where assertion failed.
So you proactively did that.
Yeah,
because that's amazing. That's so clean.
Because initially it was like this, and I was like, okay, expect undefined, but exactly which undefined? I mean, exactly which assertion failed.
Yeah.
Without this information, you cannot really know it. Initially, I wanted to provide basically file name plus line number plus column number. So you would go to the file and look by the line and column by hand. But then I found that there is a API in Metro/React Native allowing me to get this, which
Nice.
is kind of nice.
That's super clean and looks very good.
Yep. And there are many other tests running, and as you can see, each test takes between 2 milliseconds.
So
Okay, this one takes a little bit longer because array buffer is larger, so generally it takes longer, but it's kind of fast.
so it sounds like an amazing tool for like native library creators.
Yeah. Basically, it allows you to test your thing from the React Native to native and the other way, which was previously a pain in the neck because, like I said initially, you would need to kind of implement a custom harness. Actually, that's what Mark did. If we go to
so previously there was no way to actually test this type of behavior, because I from what I understand that Detox basically runs end-to-end tests. So is harness the only way to run unit tests for native modules now?
I want to show you the.
Just remember, you are still sharing the screen.
I know. I'm looking for the Nitro repository. It was Margello. Okay, it was on Mark. That's why I couldn't find it. So Nitro modules, definitely you need to test them. Like this is something you cannot really ship without testing. So what Mark did is basically.
I think you didn't open.
Yep. It opened in the next window. So what Mark did is he created a playground app. That's like usual stuff. And then he created like a simple test runner inside of his app. For example, if we go, create test, get all tests, and then there is some basic test scenarios written down in the code, right? And if I remember correctly, there's some button saying like run tests. Yeah, it will be there somewhere. Evil test. Screens. Thing there. On run pressed, run. Some test cases coming from the top from parents. So basically, this is a test runner embedded into the application itself in the playground application, which technically is fine. But again, if you, for example, you are changing something in JavaScript code, you need to constantly restart your app by hand. You cannot mock anything out without first implementing it. You need to copy the solution from app to app when you're working on multiple modules. So
I understand that testing those modules was kind of possible, but I guess that my question was more about, is Harness the first easily available library to do that instead of like
I believe so.
Because
I believe
it kind of
because
it kind of sounds like, I don't think I previously heard about and now that I'm saying this out loud, it seems weird. Like
I mean,
it sounds like
there were approaches to achieve that. For example, I know at least one solution that kind of allowed you to execute remote tests with existing solutions, but hard is the first thing to kind of provide end-to-end, let's say, functionality. So you have Metro in place because your tests can import things like your app do with import statements. And Harness will use Metro to process those test files in a way to React Native to understand them, because you cannot really copy paste your code from test file to native and then expect it to be running correctly. Now we need to bundle it first with Metro and then run it, which is something that up until now I guess nobody did.
Okay.
unless you embed the whole test runner in your app like Mark did.
Okay.
But again, the problem with this is that you need to kind of copy this thing all over, and this is not really clean solution. Let's say
Okay.
you cannot really create your test files, then nest them with describe statements. You cannot really skip tests as long as your test runner is not like full-fledged runner, right?
Okay, so it's doable, but the current solutions were just not efficient, nice, clean, and like.
Well, harness is definitely not something like written from scratch. It's basically a neat composition of existing tools plus some components written down by hand.
Okay,
Because
but I would call it
harness,
SOTA for now.
uh,
The state of the art.
the code is not definitely state of the art at the moment.
No, I mean, as a tool.
Because like I want to have the thing kind of ready, kind of working, get feedback from people if this is something that people really need, and if so, then I can spend more time polishing the stuff up, replacing some like not great elements of the code, you know. With the changes I will make in the future, I will just replace the bad fragments of the code. Let's say
Okay,
it's better than spending more and more time just rewriting stuff all the time, and then realizing or getting feedback that oh okay it's fun, it's nice, but I don't really need it.
yeah,
Which is the
makes
worst
sense.
case scenario.
Makes sense. So, a quick question from me. Do you have any sort of like an example app where we could set up harness, or like, do we want to do this presentation, as a live coding, or would you
In
prefer?
a
Because
minute.
okay,
In a minute.
I mean, I'm
Yeah,
not
I
pushing
have
for it. It will be just very. I think like it would be very interesting for
oh
everyone
definitely.
to see. But if you are not, prepared for it, or if you don't feel comfortable about that, it's okay as well.
I am, and I even have something something new to share, like something that's not okay. One of the features is already present in the repository, and it's not yet released, but technically people can discover it's there. The second thing is something I'm working currently on, so it will be a little sneak peek into what's coming in the maybe tomorrow, but we will see.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
super nice.
and to be precise, iOS build is there. iOS app is also running in the emulator. It takes a little bit longer for some reason. I don't know why iOS emulator needs a minute to install an app, which is weird, but well, it is what it is. And then the same test runs on iOS using native modules installed in the iOS app. So again, you have this, let's say, end-to-end confidence that your thing you are building is working correctly.
Nice. Out of curiosity, did it fail at the same test?
Yep.
Okay.
Value removal plus storage set. But technically, it could on Android fail on 1 and on iOS on 2 because why not?
Makes sense.
All right. So again, changing the screen.
Just let me know when you'll be ready.
Okay, maybe before we go into like, or maybe. I mean, I'm not sure how big everything will be if I share the whole screen. Probably very small.
We can check it.
Let's see. Yeah. So let me.
I guess you could make a separate workspace, and on one screen you can share Cursor or any other IDE and the emulator next to each other.
That's exactly what I'm doing right now.
Oh, great.
Or what I'm trying to
You know
do.
what they say, great minds think alike.
Yeah, but the problem is that I have ultra wide monitors, so everything will be like super small. Probably, but okay, let me maybe make this a little bit bigger. Okay.
Or maybe you can just share a
Okay, we
portion
can
of
try.
the screen.
No, that's not possible.
Okay.
Alrighty, so I'm going back there. I'm trying to show my whole screen, and I keep my fingers crossed there will be nothing like private. Okay, I will leave this one
Yeah,
open
just
still.
prepare the screen. When you'll be
Yeah,
ready, I will
think,
click.
yeah, just share it. I want to also see the preview on my
Okay.
side. So, is it like
that's a huge screen.
Yeah, and this is freaking small. Even if I, no, maybe that's
Oh,
not that
yeah,
big.
it works.
Okay. Review next file. Why cursor you are showing me this? Never mind. Okay, so
Yeah, it totally works.
Android emulator. I will hide. Okay, I will maybe move it there so I have it near if I need it. Alrighty, so now a crash course on running harness. The
Okay.
thing you need is a configuration file because you need to be able to tell harness what exactly what device needs to be used for a particular test, for example. So the harness rn-harness .config.js file is there to basically provide this information. So we have something called runners, which is basically a description of your test environment, let's say. So
Okay.
it can be Android. Then you need to provide device ID, which is basically your emulator ID, and bundle ID. So harness know which app to run and which app to connect to. And
So
the
it
same on
doesn't
iOS.
just like add a bundle all of the native modules into the test run, right?
I mean, harness needs to know which app to run, which is not
Okay.
obvious because technically you can have the bundle ID set dynamically or maybe, yeah, basically dynamically. So I cannot really go into the Android project looking for the bundle ID because it's likely I will find some variable in the
Yeah.
place.
Okay.
And I can evaluate the variable. So that's why it's here, basically.
A quick side question from Grzegorz: is it 32 or 49 inches screen?
I think it's 32.
Nice.
Or
Okay,
30,
continuing.
34.
So we have a config file that describes the runners.
Yep. And of course, because Android is supported, iOS is supported, and technically, as a POC, Vega OS is also supported.
Oh,
Eva. Yeah. So
okay.
it's already giving me code completion about Vega.
Nice,
But
that's great.
It was let's say a POC of how hard it will be to get a new platform into harness. And the cool thing is that Vega OS or Vega or whatever it's pronounced, let's say Vega OS is so close to Android that basically I could reuse stuff with just providing. I mean, it's so similar that Cursor with Sonnet was able to kind of do the thing automatically,
Okay.
knowing how Android was set up. I needed to basically give Sonnet, Cloud Sonnet, the current Android implementation, link to the documentation for VegaOS because it's well written, so all the commands have nice descriptions, and then with some hand tweaks, handmade tweaks, it basically worked. But technically, all the platforms are now living in the harness. But I expect that next week platforms will go out of the harness, so you could technically in the next week create your own package implementing a new platform for harness. Yep. Now getting back to it. So we also have include, which is basically an array of paths, globs, whatever you call
Okay.
them.
So we
to
need
include.
what to run, where to run.
Where to run, and you can set default runner so you don't have to always provide it, and some more detailed things like bridge timeout. So how long will we wait for the app to load? And this is unstable, so I will not get into it. But
Okay.
technically, if you enable it, you will gain about 30%. The time needed for running a test file will be decreased by 30%. But on the other hand, those nice code snippets will be not working, basically.
Oh,
That's
okay.
something for something. I need to kind of figure it out how to make the source maps synchronize with, let's say, stripped modules.
So like
It's a bit complicated.
minification.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, this is the minimum. This is the required minimum. So then I have this smoke test I want to run. So I can basically, technically I would write relative hardness, but I'm not sure if it's gonna work in this repository because the mono repository, and sometimes it's not, the binaries are not binded correctly, but we can test that. So if I run relative hardness test, the default runner is Android, and if it binds correct, okay, it binded. So now in a second we should see the app running. Unless I broke something in the background because I was making some like last minute changes.
Okay.
But, okay, the app's running. Yada yada yada. The first file is running. The white file. Okay. Oh, I know what I did. So this is never mind. This is expected.
Okay.
This is expected because I was changing in the background. I wanted to give a quick preview of what's going to be introduced next week. So I'm going to run a different command. I'm going to run jest, and you may ask why I'm running a jest, because in the future, like in the next week, I will probably deprecate the CLI I just ran seconds ago.
Okay.
Because I managed to wire up harness with jest. So you're running jest, but in reality you're running harness under the hood, which is fucking nice. And you know why?
Oh, wow.
Because now I can do this.
Oh,
So-
wow. But wait. No.
It's
with
watching,
this,
and now I can do it.
because you are testing the JS side. And it, oh, wow. That's so cool.
I mean, I don't need to implement Watcher by myself. It's there in jest.
That's so
And
cool.
it kind of works fine. So, I mean, I still can optimize the thing. For example, right now, if the test completes, I think. Oh no, never mind. I was about to say that Metro is shut down and then started again, but this is not true. The Metro is still running in the background. So the only thing that's going on is basically the app is running, and that will takes about 2 seconds.
That's super cool.
Yep. But technically, the only thing why the app closes at the end is because we want to have we want to start from the clean state.
Yeah, makes sense.
We want to
So
drop
wait.
all the global values or the native state. We want to start with clean.
So do I understand correctly that basically to set up harness and to start writing tests, you need tests for your native modules. All you need is one config file.
A little bit more.
A little bit more. All right.
A little bit more. Okay, so going like from the scratch. Thing number one, you need to install packages.
Yeah,
right
of
now
course.
it's a single package, it's relative harness. So you install it, and then you need to do, I think, 3 changes. The change number one is to go to your Metro config and wrap your config with React Native harness. Because harness uses Metro to bundle your tests, so it needs to reconfigure Metro in a certain way.
Let's call it
So
an
that's
entry
why you
point.
need it. Nah, entry point is not a great name for this case because entry point is what you need to change as the next thing.
Oh,
because,
okay.
Yep. Let me read. Harness needs to hijack basically the job. It needs to hijack your application shell. It needs to run your application, but instead of running your app, it needs to run harness, right? And the problem is that now you cannot really override the entry point. Entry point, the index file the app is running, because the entry point is hidden on the native side. It's present in Android / main activity, I think. It's written down there, the entry point, which is a problem, because it means that I cannot kind of redirect the app to other entry point. I need to reuse the entry point that's already existing. So that's why you need to do this. Basically, if there is a global named React Native Harness, you will run React Native Harness. If not, you
Okay,
will run
one
React.
random, maybe naive question. Wouldn't it be possible to make it as a part of the Metro compiler to also make that change for running tests?
Nope. I mean, I spent a long time running for a possible workaround for that. And the problem is that Metro isn't really Metro isn't really forcing your app to load a particular file. It's the opposite. The app is asking Metro to bundle a particular file. So to redirect the entry point to a different file, I would have to basically either update the app to use a different URL, and I will definitely try to do that in the future, or create some proxy in between your app and Metro, which will change the URL on the fly, which is something I'm experimenting on right now. Like I was doing it today.
Wouldn't
So
it?
with
I
this,
mean, to replace, because basically here is the require, right? You have the
yep.
require app/app. So, replacing the file that is being required and in there putting the basically logic for running harness. Sorry, I'm just spitballing.
That's another thing I'm experimenting with. It's definitely possible, and I guess this is the cleanest solution right now.
Okay.
So what I will probably do is I will add some entry point value there.
Oh,
like this.
Okay.
So then, not entry point, might be like main component file, something like this, file path. And then in Metro, there's this resolver thing. Resolver is responsible for, resolving. So finding the files in your file system. If you write, I don't know, React Native, the resolver needs to find the exact file that's going to be used to resolve React Native. So you will end up like translation from React Native to node modules / React Native / dist / lib / index.js, for example. And we can replace the resolver or wrap it with our custom code. So if I use something like this, technically I can force the resolver to resolve this file, or rather this, to my own file, which could be React Native Harness.
Yeah.
And then,
yeah.
And then this part, where is it? This part could be dropped as long as this path is the same as the one in Harness. So this is probably how it will end up in practice, because I'm not the fan of proxy approach.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like a clean solution for this problem.
But it's like it looks amazingly cool to be able to test native modules like that.
Okay, so this is the second change, and the third change. Don't pay attention to this because this is something I want to share with you later, but this is the part you need to do. So add another preset to your Babel setup. And this is also going to be unnecessary next week, because I think I found a way to kind of force it from Metro level. Like if Metro Harness, the only thing needed for the next week will be this.
I kind of wanted to say that because I said, so you need only a config file, and you start like, oh, well, you actually need quite a bit more. If that's the quite a bit more, and if that's the current like bad state, of the project and of the harness, then oh my god, you did such an amazing job once again.
Yeah.
Really,
So
that's
Metro, Babel, and the Metro Babel config entry point. Okay, four changes, which will become one change in the future.
I would I wouldn't be surprised if like in 3 weeks you will just say that, oh, by the way, when you run the Jest Watcher, it will also rebuild and like reinstall the native side.
We will see. But the thing I wanted to kind of share with you and show you is the coverage. Because somebody asked me on Discord channel, because, oh, if you don't know, we have a Discord server where the channel React Native Partners lives, and you can obviously join the Discord server, and the link is on the documentation side. And you can always ask me some questions, propose some new features, or just talk about how the whole thing works, for example. And one of the first questions was basically, what about coverage? Can I run harness and gather coverage data about what exactly I'm testing and what parts of the code I'm missing? And I was like, technically doable. I would need to instrument the code, I would need to pass the data back from the device to the CLI, and then use some kind of reporter to kind of translate the coverage data into something that human can read.
Wait, coverage data on the native side?
Because remember that the on the device side, because remember that there's this boundary of words, emulator and Node.js. I cannot access anything that lives there unless I pass it through the wire to Node.js.
Okay.
So coverage, as the code runs on the device side, lives on the device side. So I need to pass it back, which can be tricky because this object holding coverage data can be huge. But
Okay.
that's problem for a different Simon in next week. So right now we are POCing the whole thing. So yeah, I kind of describe all the necessary things, and I was like, okay, I will get back to it at some point. But then when I started playing with Jest, and I need to say thank you Michał Pieszka, because he was the person that kind of asked me why didn't you use Jest in the first place on ReactConf. And today I was like, okay, I will spend some time trying to run harness in Jest, and that's why it works like this. But yeah, I knew Jest has support for coverage, and I knew Jest has some built-in reporters showing you a nice summary of what was tested and what was not tested. So I gave it a try, and the result is like nothing spectacular this time because this test doesn't really import anything. So it is kind of what you would expect. Oh Jesus, it's too large. Let me maybe. Okay, it's for some reason. Just let me try it again. Okay, now it's fine. Can you read it, or it's too small?
It's too small.
Okay, let's go back to this.
Yeah. Okay.
Section.
Yeah. Now it's fine.
So yeah, it's showing your main file. It's not covered fully because part of it is basically app versus harness, so that's expected. We don't really care about it, but if I, for example, create a second file, let's say fake file, and I will create a fake function, which will take some value, which will be a number, and will produce some string. If value is greater than 10, we'll produce values greater than 10. If not, less than 10. So we have two branches to test. And now if I go back to my smoke test, I will import my fake function, and I will add two test cases. One test case will test should return greater than 10, and second less than 10. And let's start with not to do but skip. So let's mark them as skipped, so they are not executed. Restart the whole thing. So we should see that the whole file is not covered yet. Oh, okay, it's not even imported anywhere. So yeah, sorry.
Okay.
So I need to kind of at least one. Or let me think for a second. Never mind. It's like this, and this is, and now you see like it's still in progress. So there are still things to be polished, and this is one of the things. So a little like let's say Metro 101 for those who don't work with Metro, like deeply with Metro.
Mm-hmm.
Metro is special when it comes to caching, and Metro really like to cache. Like it caches everything really aggressively. So this time, why it didn't work at the first place? Because Metro is caching Babel transformations.
Oh.
So I created a second file. I changed my test file, but the transformation may be cached right now. So that's why I'm not seeing. I'm seeing any new files, or I'm talking nonsense. And if I run it again, I will see. Okay, I'm talking nonsense. Never mind. I realize it cannot be that because I'm changing both files. So why it's done? Okay, it makes sense. If you don't call your function, there will be no record of the function being called at all. So yeah, that's why I need at least one test case to show me that my file is only covered in
So wait,
30%.
quick question from me, because I think that I don't understand this part. So the coverage still shows the React Native part of coverage, not the.
And that's the good part.
Okay.
Because that's the part you are interested in your code. But it shows that line 6 is not covered. So let's see if that's true. Yep, line 6 is not covered because the second
like
test.
that. Okay. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm because like to explain. I'm fairly fresh to the modules and native code and stuff like that, and for now I've been mainly using the like require module, right, and just basically passing the return values. But I kind of didn't think about the fact that you can call conditionally those functions implemented on the native side, but call them from the like React Native. So basically, all I care about is the result of me calling the function. So yeah, what I mean is that I understand what you mean when you say, and that's the good part, because that's the basically part we need. And you are correct, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's not showing you your like native Swift native Kotlin code. It's only showing you your JavaScript code. But as long as you cover all the JavaScript, let's say, endpoints to your library, you technically tested the whole API of this library, right? So right now we see that line number 6 is not covered, which is true. So if I enable the test and run it again, I should see now that the fake TS file is covered in 100%. And it is. And this is working with Jest out of the box because Jest has, like I said before, Jest has already it has reporters for coverage included.
Mhm.
So by reusing Jest instead of maintaining my own CLI, I get it like for free, which is great, and which is why I'm thinking about deprecating the old CLI, the handwritten CLI, in favor of reusing Jest, for example.
Random question. Would it be possible to also make it work with like vtest?
I'm not sure. And I will tell you why. Because vtest, the whole like, let's say, how to say it. Okay. So vtest uses vit under the hood.
Mhm. Yeah.
Basically, vtest bundles everything it includes. It runs with Vite.
Okay.
And bundling React Native with Vite is technically possible. There are projects working on it and achieving it, but it's like a default option.
Okay.
And technically, the same approach of kind of embedding harness into Vitest is possible because there is something called Vitest Runner. You can always implement your custom Vitest Runner. I'm not sure about the part when Vitest Runner has to implement a function called onModule import or something like that. Because or on module imported or bundled, something like that. It kind of sounds like the Vitest is expecting this file to be bundled by Vite under the hood. And if it's so, then well, it's not going to happen. So that's why I'm starting with Jest. Plus, Jest has another advantage that it's basically pre-installed on every React Native project on Earth.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So you don't need to install Jest if you have it already installed in the project. The only thing you need to do is to update the config a little bit. So you will point to the React Native harness Jest runner, or for example, you can technically provide runner with CLI parameter. So then there's no really any reason to update your Jest config.
Oh, because there's just okay. And one more question. I noticed that the test files have the harness like file type, or is it just for clarity, or is it a convention that needs to be kept?
Just for clarity and for making sure that if you have both Jest and harness in place, one will not try to run the second one. Because it happened, for example, when we merged harness into MMKV, it happened that there were Jest tests present already in the repository, and neither I and neither Mark ran them before merging the pull request into main. So when we merged them, we realized that they are now broken because Jest was trying to run harness. Because Jest was set to I think.
But it basically, I assume, failed because it didn't run the emulator/simulator/run.
Yeah. It was trying to kind of run them as normal JavaScript file, which obviously failed.
Yeah.
And that was because there was no this part. So
wait, so was it just failing with couldn't find the native module or something like that?
I don't remember the exact.
Okay. Sorry, just curiosity.
I think it wasn't even able to consume the module because of some transformations missing, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
But this is like the custom. Let's say I don't want to dictate. Like a custom experience that's going to be probably the default one in the next week. But I want to. You can give me some time. I will revert the changes I did, so we will see the initial CLI, the current CLI of harness. So if you just give me some time, maybe tell a joke or something like that.
Of course.
I will simply run this.
So you're now preparing the project to show the actual current state and not
the current CLI. Yeah, the current CLI that failed initially because I did some changes to support coverage, and then
I mean, if we are actually talking about differences of like a week or 2 weeks, then I mean, sure. Okay, sure.
That was quick. So now it should work. So this is the current CLI, the custom written CLI, which is also looking fine, but producing results in some different way, let's say. So it's going through each file.
Honestly, I like this version. It's so clean. But wait, okay, quick question now. I've seen that Jest run much less tests.
Because I provided parameters saying run only smoke tests.
Oh, okay, because that was for test purposes, like checking. Okay, makes sense. Yeah.
I think I can do the same in this CLI. Okay. Now I need to pass runner, and I think the same will be achieved there. Yep.
Okay.
So technically they are kinda similar. For example, I think I support the same parameter for filtering. So you can only, for example, if you want to run only tests that start with or include the word simple, you can do that both in Jest and harness CLI. With
I'm gonna now ask a weird, complicated question, and I'm mainly asking that because I spent now a couple of weeks with widgets. Would it be possible to test a widget with harness somehow? Because one of the main problems I observed is that iOS and Android have a different approach to basically understanding what is or isn't your app. And like Apple targets, they treat the widget and the target like a completely separate entity. So one of the problems I had was that I had problems with console logging stuff because I couldn't like find the console logs from the device. Like it was a bunch of issues, and Android treats it differently. So my question would be, would it be possible to like test with harness a widget?
I don't think so.
Of course, the main problem now would be that I would need to add the widget. And that's a completely different set of problems.
Right now, at this point, harness doesn't really have any way to communicate with the app working on the device side. That I mean, okay, so if your app is running, and for example, you want to press on something, which is kind of similar, or you want to inspect some view, you need to use tools provided by each platform to do that. The tools are different for iOS and Android.
Oh.
We have things like Appium, for example, which try to provide a way to
control the emulator,
Appium,
basically.
The app running in the emulator using platforms tools. So for Android, it will be use different approach. For iOS, it will use different approach. But technically, there will be this common ground provided by Appium, with which you can, for example, look for elements on your app, in your app, or maybe press some button, for example, try to press it.
Okay.
And the same, I guess, applies to widgets, for example. If you want to test if widget is displayed, you need to reach out of your app, like you said, like try to, I guess, simulate the gesture of showing like the notification bar.
There's a bunch of steps to do that,
and then looking at the widget. So this is definitely something going out of the scope for harness, at least for now.
Okay. Because this would basically, if I understand correctly, it will basically require to use both things like Appium to have control over emulator to set up the test properly. So like automate the setup process before running the test from harness.
Even no setup process, but runtime. Because you need to do some actions. You need to do something to see the widget. You need to somehow get the widget data from the device.
That's what I meant.
Like this is the part missing. And when I started working on harness, the fourth version included something called UI mode, which basically used Appium to communicate with the app running on your device. And you could, back then, write something like this. The test would be then asynchronous. You would write something like this. It's going. Something like this. Put your component there. like button with
Mhm.
name, something like this, for example, and then use your kind of similar API to React Native testing library. Oh, it's even giving me imports from testing library. But
Oh, so this
generally,
would
you
be.
would,
Oh, that's fun. That's
yeah,
fun. Okay, so it would basically trigger
like this.
the native execution of the function by actually like pressing a fake button.
In end-to-end manner.
Okay, yeah.
So get by text click me ref, and then I would use user event press ref with await. So now this doesn't work obviously because
Mhm.
React testing library uses Node.js. It emulates the whole ecosystem, the whole environment. But back then, in my POC from 3 months ago, this could work. The
Okay.
button would be displayed in the app, and Appium would try to find it by the text, and then Appium would try to press it,
So
like
I understand that.
realistically press it.
Okay, so I understand that basically after writing this version, you like took a step back and you understood that. Oh wait, that's not what we actually need.
Uh, no, this is something we actually need. But the problem is that there were too many moving parts in the
Oh
process.
yeah.
Like we had Appium with Appium server. It took some time to run Appium. So then I introduced the flag with UI and without UI, so you could kind of disable the whole Appium, so you would run the test faster. Then the problem was that sometimes, like getting by text, sometimes worked, sometimes not. Some things were different between operating systems.
Mhm.
For example, labels were different. This is actually a bug, I think, in React Native. If you set accessibility label, or I think so, accessibility label on iOS, it's not propagated correctly to the view tree, or it's
Mhm.
different property in the view tree than on Android. So then I had to create an adapter for iOS to use some
Yeah.
different selector only available on iOS.
So
Then the
basically
same
started
thing.
solving problems that were not.
The scope started to
Yeah.
grow really fast. And the
Yeah.
results were not that good because sometimes Appium would not start in the in timely manner. Sometimes elements would not be found. But like the thing that worked is like 80% of times I could click the button.
Okay.
And the best thing was that if I create a second view and if I overlay my button so it couldn't be clicked, Appium
Mm.
will not be able to click the element.
Okay.
It would really kind of test the whole thing out from the JavaScript through Yoga, so the layouting engine for React Native, to the operating system and then back,
Okay.
which
You know what?
is awesome.
I must like honestly really I really do hugely appreciate and respect your approach to creating those libraries because I feel like that's a very hard skill to learn, to understand when the scope is getting out of like manageable sizes, be able to find what to cut off from the scope, and then deliver and release everything, and then keep an eye on what do people actually want, and then focusing on that. So what I guess what I'm trying to say is that since I got to know you, I feel like you did a huge improvement on like this project managing mindset and skills, and I really admire that. That's very impressive.
Uh, it's not like this. I mean, I still have this like urge to, if I come up with a great idea for for a feature that sounds to me like a super important feature, I will try to work on it. But I will right now, after all those months, I will stop at some point. Let's say I will spend
Mhm.
2 hours. I will see it. It takes, I know, it would take days or weeks to implement. And now I'm at least able to stop myself. I'm not like wasting any more time, because then after 3 days I will realize that, oh, I will not deliver it in next week.
Well, that's a hard skill to learn. You can only learn that by failing multiple times and
Yeah.
wasting a lot of energy beforehand.
And the same applies to the thing I was recently posting on X in the thread with. Oh, I will not pronounce the name because I don't remember it fully. But I was talking with the person responsible for Hermes VM.
Okay.
I will not pronounce the name. Sorry.
Okay.
And we were talking about. He posted some kind of example of AI generated code and described it as a super unoptimal. And the code sample was pretty simple. There was some kind of loop. It was JavaScript function with for each or filter. It was filter. Array, filter close, some things extracted from some object, and then return statement with 4 conditions, right? And that was it. And was like, it looks pretty nice. I mean, okay, probably it's not the best, like the most optimal way to implement that, but still it shouldn't cause any issues, right? And that was the the difference between approach ship things that works correctly, are fast and are optimized, but spend more time of it, versus write code in a fast manner. I mean, quickly. It may not be optimized, it may be slow, but deliver it quickly to get feedback, and then, if it proves useful, be ready to go back and fix it, improve it.
No. If it works, it doesn't have to be pretty.
Yes and no. Because I understand the thinking that I should really pay attention to the way how I write code, because if I don't, it may seem so I'm not paying attention. Or I'm just a bad developer because I don't know that if I use array instead of set, my code will perform 100 times worse, right? It will be slower. But the thing is that there are so many cases, and I remember so many cases in my, let's say, career, when I worked so hard on, making the code pretty, on creating the right abstractions over all the things, on composing the elements together, only to hear the next day that, oh, requirements changed.
No.
Sorry, we need to, change the things a little bit.
Sorry, we forgot to tell you that we don't need it anymore.
This, or for example, the main requirement changed. I still remember
the name of the Hermes guy is Cvetan.
Cvetan. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Cvetan. Yeah, it's really hard to pronounce. I mean, I thought Szymon is hard, but Cvetan it's more. Yeah. But getting back to the thing. Where was I? Wait a second. Doing some.
That people are then saying that some requirement is not needed and basically changing this code.
Yeah, because I remember a couple of times that from some point I was so pissed with requirements changing that I started to force my product owner and the business, the whole business side of things, to give me answers to questions like how many, those are normal questions you should ask, and information you should know before starting any work, because knowing how many elements to expect determines the way how you will write code. If you have 10 elements, there will be not much difference between using set and iterating over the array, because it will be only 10. But if elements are expected to be like thousands or millions of elements in an array, then using set versus array will make a huge difference. So I started forcing my the business side to basically provide such information.
Yeah.
What do you expect of this? How fast should it be?
Because it's a difference between something I like. It's called pre-optimization, I think. So you basically spend too much time optimizing a thing that will not have such a case in the future.
Yep. So,
And
but
it's
yeah, and it turned out they didn't know. So,
of course.
so it was like maybe 10, maybe 100. Who knows? We will see. So in the end, I gained nothing, but started to pay less attention to making the code like perfect, because I knew after a month they would come back saying it's working very well, but
Yeah.
we this is exactly the case, real life case I had. I think last year in my like previous project, not Callstack yet. Then I was working on a like workflow editor in React, or it was Angular. Don't ask me why it was Angular, but it was Angular.
At some point, we all had a like choice to make Angular or React.
Nah, it wasn't a choice. It was like, oh, I heard you worked in Angular some in your past. I was like, yeah. Oh, so there's a project, they need somebody with Angular knowledge. So I was assigned to it. But yeah, the problem was that there's this workflow editor. So if you have a workflow, it usually ends in 20 nodes, for example. You start to do some operations, yada yada, if statement, 2 branches, again to 1 branch, the end. So when I asked about how huge the workflows can be, it was 20 elements max. Okay, so all the test cases for performance were expecting at most 20, 30, 50 elements. It turned out that there are people having 100 elements, for example, or even more. In this case, the code wasn't really prepared for that.
And that's an issue because I assume that if you have a person that uses such big workflow, it must be an important person that uses.
And yeah, there was a bug report saying my MacBook starts to be noisy
To
when I
overheat.
try to do something. Yeah, because we were doing things like this. Or for example, I was asking that because we had this different case when one node can depend on a second node, or a property of a one node can be must be validated against all other nodes in the workflow. So now imagine a workflow with 100 nodes, and we have to validate all things. So for 4020, it was working on my MacBook Pro because on like normal thing, MacBook Pro, 22 gigs of RAM and so on. But it turns out that if you have 100 nodes and you have many nodes that needs validation, then the thing starts to like, the next thing was that they wanted us that if they have an input, we should validate on each change, on each keystroke.
Oh.
So we ended up with reports like, I'm trying to write something, but only 2 characters are being written. What's going on? Why my 3 characters are missing?
Chugging the energy. Yeah. Oh my god.
Because it was like taking so much time on the MacBook Airs to validate all the things in the workflow that it was basically not prepared. The code was not prepared for that. And it was obviously a bug report. It was not like improvement, a feature. It was a bug report, so it has a high priority to change that.
And that's basically a requirement to replan and re-implement a lot of things.
Let's say rethink. But I kind of reused 60 or 70% of the code, but then introduced some changes like
to redesign. Oh, that's the word.
Yeah, redesign.
Okay.
So yeah, if you work with products which can change like 10 times a week, I wouldn't spend so much time on making the code like perfect in terms of
first make it work, then make sure that people actually need it and want it, and then get information about what do they need more or what's not working correctly, and then focus your energy on that.
That's the thing with Harness, right? So we are shipping without support for the UI. Because that may be not needed by the community. It's needed because I already had a message on X saying, "What if I need to test a view?" I provided let's say a hacky solution to achieve that without me modifying the harness, because it's kind of it's kind of achievable in userland. I think I can say it was the person working on React Native video, the video player component,
Okay.
because they wanted to they have to mount the video to test if some actions are working, if some props are passed correctly. So yeah, they definitely need some more from harness, and I provided a way to kind of hack it right now in this version of harness until I ship with like a proper introduction of UI
So
mode.
to all the people listening now, you heard it here. If you have any needs related to harness,
Yeah.
if you'll be fast enough, you will get a VIP treatment with features and fixes delivered in matter of days. So
Yeah.
take advantage of that.
But getting back for a little moment, because I think we have still a moment, right? Or not?
Sure, yeah. Like I feel like
Okay.
we showed everything we wanted to show. We covered the
There is
news.
more.
So
There is more.
all right, there's more.
Obviously you can test with like simple matchers to strict, equal, to be greater than, to include, or was to contain. Sorry, to contain. That's like usual stuff. But sometimes you need mocks, you need stubs, you need spies. Because, for example, you want to make sure that if you pass some function to your library, some function will be called, some callback will be called in a timely manner. For example, after some action is done on the native side.
Oh,
So,
right, yeah.
yeah, you need some kind of way to do that. So in vtest, in Jest, we use spies, and I think the second name is mocks or stubs.
Stubs.
I don't really know the difference, so I use them like
Yeah.
in the same meaning. So yeah, let's say we need spice and we need this function thing. So for those who don't know, if you have Jest, you can use Jest function, just fn as a function. It will create a fake function that you can pass around, and if it's called, you can then expect it to be called. So for example, I expect this onPress function to be called at least one time. So there is a supporting harness for that. So basically, this is a compatible implementation to the one present in Jest. So you can create your stubs or marks, whatever, and you can pass it around. And
So it's a plugin because it extends functionality. So I assume you can use
yeah, if
harness
you're
in Jest functions as well.
I don't think so. I didn't try that.
Okay.
But
Okay, so it's not
compatible.
a plugin.
Compatible. The same API is present in Jest and in harness.
Okay.
And that's thanks to vtest, actually, because vtest, they needed the same thing. They needed to have a compatible layer with Jest. So they created it with the use of the third library called TinySpy, I think. So they had TinySpy. They written the adapter over it, the adapter. So I'm going back to the initial topic we had with Łukasz. So they created an adapter which is compatible with Jest, and this adapter, this thing, is available on npm. It's like standalone, independent from vtest. So initially I was writing the stuff myself, but then again I realized that, oh man, I will need to maintain all of it.
Oh yeah.
And there are so many functions to be implemented. So I was like, no, there must be a different way. And there was, like the Jest one, the Jest spice couldn't be used without Jest, unfortunately, but vtest one could be. So this is basically a vtest implementation used in harness. And obviously I'm not hiding that fact. It's clearly visible, for example, in the documentation of harness. There is this page, I think, called prior art or something like that, or acknowledgements. And there vtest is obviously exposed as a source of code for vtest spy, so for the spying, and also for for matchers / assertions / expecting things. Because again, expect in Jest also have their own. The Jest have their own set of matchers to have been called times to strict equal. This is not something that's kind of shipped with, for example, Chai.js, which is used by both Vitest and Jest to kind of implement those matchers. So again, I was implementing this Jest compatibility layer with Chai.js by hand, and then I realized that, oh, maybe Vitest also has Vitest/expect package I can use. It turns out it had. So again, expect is also powered by Vitest, Vitest's implementation.
Okay.
So you can expect the same matchers from Jest and the same matchers from Vitest working just fine in harness.
You know
So
what?
if
I
I
need
do this, what you need what?
I need to say that you are basically like a MacGyver of React Native world. How?
Yeah,
So you're
I'm
just
composing things
taking,
from.
yeah, you are taking all of the available tools and you're making new powerful tools.
Wait until okay, because probably this is not. Why is it not finding the stuff? Because I changed the name. Never mind. I will show you something like real MacGyver stuff in a minute. Oh, you can even see V there, so it's coming from Vitest. But yeah, I expected this spike.
We got one, but
okay,
it wasn't
one,
called. Yeah.
But if I uncomment this and I start it back again, it will work. So yeah, this is it, and yeah, it worked, and the same applies to spy on. So you can spy on existing stuff, right? So if you need it, it's also compatible with Jest and Vitest. But in Vitest in Jest, you can mock the whole modules out, or you can modify modules. Like for example, I have platform in React Native, and for some reason, I want to modify this platform for a single test. Third return, harness platform. I need to do this. So I expect it to return harness, and obviously it won't return harness right now. It return Android because we are running our test on Android. But we need to do something to return harness. So in Jest, you can use, and Jest and Vitest, you can use module mocking, which basically allows you to replace the module in runtime. And this part couldn't be easily ported from both Jest and Vitest. Why? Because Jest relies on, if I'm correct, rely on native Node.js require and import statements. So module system is different because we use Metro module system. Vitest uses Vite under the hood, so it relies on Vite module system. And we have Metro, so we need to provide the same functionalities with Metro, which sounds like a tricky thing, and it was tricky, I assure you, and it was achieved. And I will show you the implementation in a second, because this is the implementation of module mocking. This is real MacGyver stuff.
Okay.
But okay, I hope it works right now, because I didn't do it in quite a long time. So yeah, I'm mocking React Native to return platform OS harness. So let's try it now. Save, run, and hopefully it will succeed. It didn't. So I broke it.
So close.
No, I know why. I think I know why. Yes or not? I know, or I do not. I think I know. Let me try this.
Not first mock and then require.
Yeah, because now
the mock should be outside the scribe.
Technically, yeah, but the problem is that with Jest, okay, that would work. With Jest and Vitest, there's a transformation going on under the hood, moving all your mocks up to the top of the file. So yeah, technically Jest does this. So your mock is before import or require. So yeah, you are getting the correct thing from the beginning, but I didn't imported this transformation yet.
I believe the professional term is hoisting.
Yep, this is hoisting. So, but still, with require, after my when my React Native is mocked, I get the mocked result, right? And still, I can get the original one
with require actual. Oh wow!
Yeah, because I have something called require actual, which I can import, and then it should work. And if you think this was easy to achieve, it wasn't. This is the most hacky part of the whole thing. Why? Because technically it's impossible to mock modules out like this in the runtime. But to achieve that, you need to go deep into the whole module system of Metro itself. And now we are going to do just that. So where is it? Runtime assets module system. The flow we all love and the flow we all hate. So the long story short, module system in Metro is basically encapsulated in a single file called module system.flow.js. And this module system, this file basically declares the whole infrastructure needed to declare modules, require modules, and support hot module reload. So if you change something, modules are changed on the fly instead of reloading the whole app. And initially I went into this and I realized that, okay, so let's look how it looks in practice, like yada yada yada. There's this part, like global dot dash dash r equals metro require. So okay, so require is available there. Okay, so technically I can override this part and hide the real require behind my adapter. In my adapter, I can look into some kind of map, looking for any mocks. If there is a mock, I will return mock. If there is no mock, I will pass the data. I will pass the control flow back to the original require. It didn't work. Why? Because the part is at some point in require. Where is it?
So it's re-added.
There is it.
Oh.
This was the tricky part. I had to modify those 3 lines. Because if I remember correctly, the problem was that the value, the function was captured before I was able to override it. So in the end, even though I successfully overwritten global dash dash r, this change was not visible on the Metro side. It was still using require calls. So I had to copy the whole thing from Metro, change those 3 lines to make sure that my overwritten value will be captured at the runtime time, at the invocation time. So in this case, if your module requires something I already mocked, you will receive the mocked version. So, yep. So
yeah,
this
is
I do agree.
Yeah, I do agree. This is the real MacGyver stuff.
And this is only needed to basically make the module mocks working, unless I will find a way to achieve the same thing without losing any performance, and then I will be able to commit it back to Metro. But
knowing you will find a way.
So this is the first part, and then the second part was basically so the second part you need to understand, and all the people listening to us. If you think that if you import React Native with a string React-native, if you think this string is present in module system, then you are wrong. Because Metro doesn't use strings. Metro uses numbers.
Yeah, IDs.
How come? Because Metro, when it starts bundling your code, it will basically start giving IDs. It will start replacing strings, paths with numbers. That number will be incremented, so you start with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and yada yada yada. You get to 65, for example, thousands. Why? Because comparing numbers is a constant action, a constant time. How should I say it?
Linear,
Constant time. It's
big
constant
linear
time.
big O.
No, it's constant. It's basically no matter what number, how huge it is, you will spend the
Oh, like
CPU will
that.
spend only one cycle on it, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But
okay.
if you compare strings, even when you use the best algorithm, it will be never constant time. It will be always it will always take some time, and it will be always a function of the length of the string, right? And
Okay.
requiring modules, this part must be fast because this is what's happening when your app starts. All the modules are required, so you need this part to be fast as I will not say the bad word, but it must be fast.
I
So
think
that's why
everyone
you use
got
it.
that.
Yeah. So it's why it's using numbers. So now I don't want users to kind of guess the number to put in mock function, because it doesn't make any sense. Because React Native can be in reality 4 or 3. Different time it will be 7.
But there must be a map somewhere, right?
Yeah, there's something you can do about that. And the thing is that if you look at require, will it be fine? No. So you need to trust me, because this is something that's only present in Metro. But the thing is, I don't want to change the window again, because I would need to go to my browser, and
Yeah.
it's not needed. You need to trust me that there is resolve weak function in Metro, and resolve weak will basically it will give me the number I need at
Okay.
runtime. But I don't want to force users again to work with it like this,
Yeah.
because it's stupid. So I needed to create. That's why the Babel present is here. Babel, whatever it's called.
Okay. And that's why you
So
need
with
to.
Babel,
Okay.
I'm able to find all the places people are using mock, unmock, and require actual. And then if those are imported, then I need to replace them. And then I can basically replace the first argument with require resolve weak. So in the runtime, the 0 will be we substituted in this place. So the whole thing will work just
had
fine.
no idea that you are using this type of magic under the hood.
I had to. And the other type of magic is basically kind of optimization when you saw that the entry point needs to be conditional on a global .earn harness, which sounds like not a problem at all, unless your playground app, the app component is complex, if it imports dozens of different modules. Because the problem is that you don't need those modules to be present in the bundle. I mean, they will be not present in the bundle at all, because there is this condition. But still, Metro will go through the condition and it will consume the whole app. And it will take a long time.
No, okay,
So,
I get it.
And you don't need that, because harness just needs the module for the test, and that's it. So I had to do something about that, and that's why there's this Babel plugin, which basically looks at global and harness, and if it's true, and it's true for harness, it will basically replace the condition with only harness.
Yeah, it will cut out the other import. Okay.
Actually, why I'm saying that, I'm not sure if it's still working.
In a second, you will rewrite everything from
I
the
mean,
ground up.
yeah, I mean this part I think
So,
because
so
yesterday I stumbled upon a problem in MMKV that made me think that this is not working correctly.
so people, you
So
heard it here. In a week, you will have harness 2.0.
yeah, in a week, if everything goes well, we'll be able to drop both Babel changes in Babel RC or Babel config. So this will be gone. Hopefully, next week, this part will be gone. So we'll have only this.
So it'll be even simpler than now. And now it's not that hard to attach harness. So that's great.
Yeah, but Mark gave me a good argument to make it as simple as as non-intrusive as possible.
Yeah, it's because of the sickness we mentioned, the hard to set up ititis.
Nah, not this. No, it's not even this. It's because if harness breaks, then the playground app breaks. And if playground app breaks, then who is to blame? The maintainer of the library. Which means that Mark would need to fix the bug. I mean, first, he would probably get some report from somebody. Then the report must be forwarded to me. Then he needs to prepare some workaround or turn the harness totally off, like remove it from the app to make it run for some time. I need to prepare an update, release it, and then, yeah. So what Mark made clear is that for him, harness must be easily
basically commenting out.
In the perfect scenario, it should be not enabled. It should not expect users should not expect any changes in their app unless harness is running.
Yeah, makes
which
sense.
is something I want to achieve at some point. And doing this, so using Metro to kind of reconfigure entry point to use different component is the first step towards it. And why it's important? Because there was a bug yesterday. There was a bug yesterday in the Babel preset. Actually, that's fun. That's funny situation because I did this change like minutes before releasing because I was inspired by some message from Mark. Because I realized that, actually I don't need this Babel plugin, all those free plugins to run when somebody's running the app. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So I would just do this. If harness, then do the usual thing. If not, then do nothing. And do you see the problem or not yet? Okay, you will not see the problem without the additional context. The first require, this plugin, the first one, is required by Chai.js used for the assertions used by harness. So why this is a problem, what I did here?
Because you are disabling the Chai.
No, not this. And initially, I didn't realize the problem unless Mark sent me the screenshot with crying emoji, because he asked me like 3 times, will this thing break my app? No. Is it possible for this thing to break my app? Unlikely. There is one place that could break, but unlikely. And then after 30 minutes, he writes me, it broke my playground app. The thing is that this plugin is removing the whole React Native harness from the entry point. It's basically removing the condition. It's inlining the app. If we turn it off, the main file will stay like this. And do you remember what I said about Metro and conditional requires?
It will attach the harness because it will.
It will not attach the harness. It
It
will
will
try to
resolve the dependency
tree. It will try
tree.
to consume it. It
Yeah.
will try to consume all the code. It's not necessary, but it will try to consume it. It doesn't expect the hardness to be a constant.
Yeah.
And in dev mode, there is no code minification, because usually when you run for production, this would be replaced by Tensor, for example, the minifier, which can kind of assume run hardness is constant and it's true, so I can remove the part of the code, but it's not running in dev. So we end
Okay.
up with this condition. We end up with Metro going to hardness and trying to consume all the libraries. The problem is that the Chai.js uses static blocks in classes. And Metro fails to consume the file containing static blocks in classes. And Metro instructs you to add this plugin to the Babel preset. So Metro will be able to transform the file, remove the static blocks, and consume the file. So if we turn off this plugin, we don't enable this plugin, we end up in the situation when Metro tries to go to reactive hardness. We don't need it, but it indeed does try to go to it, consume all the dependencies, try to convert them with Babel, and fails.
Okay.
Because static blocks are not supported by Hermes, so we need to replace them. And this
Oh my God,
was the actual thing
we've dug
that
so
broke.
deep. We're so technical now. My brain
Yep.
starts to hurt.
And the whole harness thing is like this. I mean, it's
Okay.
yeah, you need to understand like many moving parts around the not only JavaScript, Hermes, Metro, Babel, simulators, and applications, I guess, like APKs and IPPs in APPs in iOS, plus GitHub Actions to set up everything correctly. There is some system architecture things. For example, we need to understand that some flags need to be turned on GitHub Actions to enable hardware acceleration for your emulator, and you need to know what hardware acceleration is. There's some work with choosing the right architecture. So if you use if you want to build Android, you can use ARM64, but it turns out ARM64 is slow when it comes to emulation, or the emulation doesn't work correctly. So we need to use x64 instead. So yeah, it's basically there are many cutting concerns. Yeah, cutting edge. No, what was the
Edge cases, edge cases, corner cases.
Cross-cutting concerns or
Okay.
things blending in harness that, yeah,
Okay.
it's a hard thing to work on.
And with that conclusion, I would slowly wrap up the stream. So let me first remove the screen share. So now you are.
Because I want to go. I want to move my browser.
Because in a second we will be like inspecting binaries and checking like, look, and this platform here is a 1 instead of 0 because this system is little endian and not big endian.
Yeah, I'm trying to come up with anything else that I would love to say. Oh, there may be one thing. Did you hide my screen yet? Yeah.
Yes. I already
I want
did.
to share one more thing. One more thing. So, where is it? This. StreamYard, share. Stop screen, share screen. So to end the stream.
Okay, are you ready to share?
Let me. Okay, I think I am.
Okay, I'm clicking to add you. Okay.
So, like I said, the whole thing is basically a composition of couple existing components in the ecosystem, plus couple of ideas of other people, plus couple of ideas of myself. So it would be not nice to not mention all the components Harness is using and all the people the whole idea for Harness started from, and basically people who kind of set the course for the harness, or for the cross-platform testing library. We used to name it before the harness name was established. So again, inspiration comes to like the inspiration for the whole test runner embedded into the app goes to Mark Rusavi and Nitro modules, because that's probably, at least that's the first implementation of a test runner in the app, spotted by Mike Grabowski. By Mike Grabowski in some case. I don't know which case. He needed to go to Nitro modules example app code to find the test runner, but he did, and he kind of started the idea to get the same approach and try to apply it at scale. So Mark Rusavi and Mike Grabowski, both people had a great influence on the thing. From Vitest, I took Expect and Spy, so two libraries for assertion, so basically checking if everything is in place, plus for spying. The third thing I took from Vitest, which is not here yet, is the wait for implementation. So if you want to wait for something to happen, and wait for, that's true. As for, let's say, libraries used by those libraries I just described. So Chai is used by Expect, and Xenon or Tiny Spy is used by Xenon or Spy is used by Vitest Spy, and Xenon is also used by the harness itself. So again, kudos for those libraries and those maintainers or their maintainers for their work. And of course, there are some supporting libraries, like for example, Zustan for the state on the device side, and some Shims polyfills to make everything go smoothly. And of course, again, gratitude to Mark, gratitude to Kran, because initially, I'm not sure who exactly started the idea, because it was like some work was already done. There's a Discord channel called Callstack Discord. I think it's publicly open. When some discussions started back several months ago, then I was like, I saw some discussion going on. I was like, okay, I can try to implement that. And the initial idea was basically what I did right now. So embedding into Jest to support native modules. So the thing I'm doing right now, so going back to Jest, is basically what the initial idea was. But back then, I thought it's not possible because I looked into a wrong API, because you can have Jest runner and just something else, which is technically the same but different. And one expects the code to be run on Node.js side, and the second allows you to run the code wherever you like. But yeah, the initial discussion was, I think, between Mike and Kran, and probably someone else. And Kran had a great influence on what the library should look like and what the library should offer to the end user. So yeah, kudos to Kran too for starting this discussion.
Wow, I didn't expect the whole blown credits at the end of presentation.
Yeah, it kind of came to my mind in the last moment.
But it is important to like, as you nicely wrote, extend the gratitude and to mention people who had a great impact on the community, on the libraries, because that's what matters in React Native community. In React community,
that's what
all of those
matters
communities.
in open source community. You
Yeah.
recognize for your work.
I tried to find the correct scope, and I meant the open source community.
To close everything nicely, let's summarize when to use harness and when to not use harness. Because technically you can replace your Jest setup with harness and use harness in your test suits, but it's not really worth it. Hardness is worth it when you need to test your code with native modules. If your native modules are like integral part of your, for example, business logic, or you're building a React Native library using native modules, then hardness is the thing to use, the way to go. But if you are testing business logic, when native modules are just an addition and you can mock them out easily and you will not lose anything, or if there are no modules at all, native modules at all, there is no really a reason to use harness at this point. Harness will make your workflows more complex. Harness will make your harness will make your test run longer, and you will gain nothing unless you really need something to be not mocked, something to be like real. Then okay, you can use harness, but technically for business logic we use JavaScript only, no need for harness at all. And then finally you have Maestro or any end-to-end solution. You can use this solution to test the whole app, the whole workflows from the user perspective. So like you cannot use harness to do that yet. You cannot test UI with harness yet. But even when it lands, it will be more about single components and testing a couple of components in working together, like in the integration test, and testing only like things like if user can press a button if the button is correctly pressed, let's say.
Yeah.
But if you think of harness as a tool to test your app from end-to-end perspective, again, this is not a way to go, because you have end-to-end solutions with proper tooling, with proper functionalities in place. So you will end up with a way better test suite with Maestro than with harness.
Okay.
And that's pretty much
That's quite rare to see documentations with like when to use, when not to use. So that's amazing you added this. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's knowing when and how to use a tool.
I mean, because the border, the difference between JS and end-to-end solution may be not that wide. The gap maybe not that wide. People may use harness in wrong way, and I don't want people to use harness in the wrong way, because then issues will arise in the repository, and I will have to basically go through each of them and write, this is not what harness is about. This may be supported in the future, but it's not supported right now. So I wanted to make this this
statement
clear. This statement clear that harness is for this case, that case, but not for this and that. So people will not use it in contexts where it's not supported, or at least they will not create issues about that, because they know they are going out of the area supported by harness.
And in case anyone will have doubts or problems or wouldn't be sure, you can follow Szymon on X. I do actually recommend that. Szymon posts quite a bit on X, and it's a lot of fun and interesting information to read. So go give him a follow. You will not regret it. That's my recommendation. And also feel free to, of course, should they feel free to reach out to you on X as well, so you can have a public explanations of when to use and when not to use harness.
And an hour ago I unlocked my private messages on X because it sounds like they are disabled by default, and somebody was trying to reach me. Yeah, somebody was trying to reach me, and it didn't work because they were blocked. Now they are unlocked. So
it's often you need to basically also follow the person to Ryan says, just another superb library. Thank you so much. And I do also thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you for that in-depth explanation. That was really a lot of information, very in-depth, very precise. and I really appreciate it. I think and I hope that people watching us now also appreciate it, the in-depth dive. And if you write native modules or native libraries, go give Harness a try. It's easy to set up. It will be even easier to set up in a week or 2 weeks from now on. And Szymon, would you like to add anything before we wrap it up?
I have already added too much.
No worries. It's not too much. But so once again, Szymon, thank you so much. Thank you everyone watching. And I guess
Where's the
we will.
music?
Yeah,
Where's the
sorry,
music?
right. You are right. You are right. I kind of forgot what's the correct way. So was it this music? No, this music.
No, not this one.
This is intro. This is this music.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I like this one. So with that, thank you all for participating. Thank you all for comments. Thank you, Szymon, double for explanations, for being here with me. You spent a lot of your time writing great library and then explaining the library and how to use it. So thank you for that. And with that being said, see you all in a week. So bye-bye.
See y'all. Bye.